I'm Ellis Martin. Join me now for a conversation in Sydney, Australia at the International Mining and Resources Conference with Mr. Iggy Tan, Non-Executive Chair of Lithium Universe Limited, trading as LU7 on the ASX. Led by lithium pioneer Iggy Tan and the Dream Team, Lithium Universe has a bold vision of building a lithium resource and refinery facility in Canada that will provide the critical minerals for batteries, helping the world transition towards cleaner energy. I'm very pleased to be able to chat with Iggy today. Let's listen in. Iggy, welcome to the program. It's great to visit with you here at IMARC in Sydney.
Thank you for having me, Alice. Well, welcome to Australia.
Thank you. I'm real curious. You are a legend. These are my words and a lot of people's words, maybe not your words, but you are a legend in the lithium space. Had a lot of great success with Galaxy. You left that in 2013. You didn't have to do another thing, but perhaps maybe go fishing. What brought you back into the lithium space?
The Apollo project in James Bay attracted me back to the industry. And James Bay is such a fertile ground for spodumene, lithium spodumene. When I was at Galaxy, I acquired the James Bay project, which is now part of Alchem. And what's unique about that area, Alice, is that the spodumene tends to be at surface. They tend to be very thin, and also the crystal size tends to be very large. Now, what does that mean? Is that when you process spodumene for concentration, you only need very simple equipment. You need crushing and dense media separation. But if your crystal size is very fine, you need more complex equipment. You need to grind it down much finer, and you need to use flotation. So generally your capex is higher and your operating cost is higher. So that's what I like about the James Bay region, and that's why I came back to the industry.
I've been covering the lithium space probably for almost 10 years. What sticks in my mind is the inability of local spodumene, local lithium in Canada to be processed anywhere in North America.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a current gap in the whole supply chain. The North American market are looking to develop EVs and battery plants. I think recently they announced Northvolt is building something in Quebec, and LG and so on. But if you think about it, if you develop your mining, your concentrator, and even if you produce a spodumene concentrate, it needs to be converted to lithium carbonate or lithium hydroxide.
Right.
And at the moment,
the
only converters or what that is basically in China. And there is a stance that the North Americans have said, oh, we don't want to send our concentrate to China and then buy it back. So
true.
Canada is trying to force a downstream solution, which is fine, but it really puts a lot of pressure because there's a lot of lithium explorers and they don't have the experience for concentrating and downstream processing.
And they don't have the money.
It's very difficult to attract the money.
And they want these agreements with the end users, but there's no way to process it locally within North America, anywhere in Canada or the northern part of the U.S. You have a solution, don't you?
What we're doing is trying to replicate what we did in Australia with the concentrator at Mount Cattlin. So we built and funded the Mount Cattlin project, which was rated at 137,000 tons per annum of concentrate. And that was shipped to a lithium carbonate plant that we built in China. That was rated at 17,000 tons per annum. Battery grade lithium carbonate. Today, that plant is world class. It's operating well above its design and producing product that is actually the best in the world. It's a Western style plant, continuous processing plant, and that really became the benchmark for refineries around the world. We were known as the first vertically integrated mine to battery grade lithium carbonate company. So essentially what we're doing is replicating that. And the first thing to do when you're trying to replicate something is bring in the people that did it before. So Alice, we know the 1992, who was on the Dream Team?
Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan. I'm not a sports guy.
Alice, we have the same version of that. We call them the Lithium Dream Team.
Oh my God.
So essentially, starting with myself, joining me is Pat Scallon, who is a 25-year veteran of Greenbushes, is one of the largest mines in the world in Western Australia, one of the highest grade deposits around the world. And this guy ran Greenbushes 25 years, a good friend of mine. So if you think about hard rock experience, he is one of the top notches in the lithium industry. The other guy I've got is Dr. Jinwan Liu. He's the go-to lithium expert in lithium hydroxide or lithium carbonate processing from hard rock. So he was my right-hand man at the Jiangsu lithium carbonate plant. We've got people like Terry Stark, who was the general manager that ran Mount Catlin, and James Bay. We've got Roger Pover, who was a long time with Greenbushes, as well as he ran Mount Catlin. And then we had a couple of guys, John Loxton and Hugh, who actually were involved in the design and the build of either Mount Catlin or Jiangsu. So what we've amassed is people that design and build these two plants, people that operate these plants, and the people that funded and developed the whole downstream technology.
Where's the feedstock going to come from initially?
Obviously, we've got the Apollo project and we've started exploration, but essentially we're starting to talk to juniors around Canada that are much more developed, where they have resource and we can partner up them. Because what you realize is that we've already started the engineering studies for the concentrator and the lithium carbonate plant. We announced that Primero is going to do the study for the concentrator and Hatch is going to do the study for the lithium carbonate. Hatch built it for us in China anyway. So essentially, we're going to take the same design, get it updated to today's prices in Canada. So very quickly, we can have a DFS to both plants.
How quickly?
I think within 12 months, we will have the final designs and the final price for that. Now, the problem is the feedstock for that, as you know, in Canada, when you go to permitting, firstly, you have to drill it out, build the resources, and then go to permitting. People are talking about 6 to 8 years in the permitting process. That's going to take too long for us.
That's tough on a business. It's tough on an investor.
Yeah. One of our plans is to develop upstream first. So develop the lithium carbonate plant. And in the short term, if we have to buy spodumene from other countries like Brazil, we've been into Canada. We have a site that we're looking at that has access to river and the ocean. And then become a converter first and let the downstream catch up with us, or let the upstream catch up with us. So the strategy is very simple. Let's build the concentrator and the lithium carbonate plant, and let's go find a resource rather than spend all the time trying to develop it from scratch, which could take 6 to 8 years.
I would think the resource will just come to you. They'll be knocking on your doors.
Absolutely. We've already started conversations with juniors around the place that recognize that there is no solution for them. Yes, they can develop a mineral resource, but how are they going to process it? What are the technologies to concentrate it and then even to get it to downstream lithium carbonate?
That's been a problem and a company killer for a lot of these North American mining companies.
That's why we are providing the solution for the North American market.
And you've done it before.
I think that's the biggest thing. As you can see some of the failures around the world, you've got in Canada, there's Canada Lithium that failed, Nemaska, even Tianqi's lithium hydroxide plant in Kwinana in Australia. It's already taken 5 years and they still really haven't produced much hydroxide. And they are a lithium producer. They're not a newcomer. You can see the complexity of these refineries. I think one of the attractions for us is that we've already done it before. We've got the same people and we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're actually going to do the same plants that we did before.
And there's really no permitting issues because you're going out of country for the feedstock. And eventually I would imagine that legislation will catch up and make it easier for these local Canadian companies to come on board.
What we're looking for is building these operations in established industrial sites. Permitting is very simple because they're already established sites.
Eastern Canada, Ontario and Quebec, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we like sites like Bécancour in between Montreal and Quebec City.
Sure.
That's where I think Nemaska's got a site. They've also announced that Northvolt's building there. So these sites are well-established sites. They've got infrastructure like electricity, natural gas, and railway. But the most important, also shipping. That's our model. We are actually starting from the downstream end and working upstream.
This is pretty exciting. I've been in the business quite a long time, and this is the first I'm hearing of a solution that has plagued me as an investor and a journalist. Yes, I like the idea of lithium and investing in lithium, but I don't like the fact that it has to be processed in China necessarily.
Absolutely. So we are providing that solution. And obviously we've had a lot of interest and conversations with the various groups. But I think the key here is it's proven technology. It's a proven team. And that's what we're trying to deliver for Lithium Universe.
Iggy, it's been a real pleasure to chat with you. Thanks for enlightening me. I appreciate your being with me today here on the program. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
I've been speaking with Mr. Iggy Tan, Non-Executive Director of Lithium Universe, trading as LU7 on the ASX. dig a little deeper, go to the company's website, lithiumuniverse.com. I'm Ellis Martin.
Would you like to be one of the first to see who we are following? Subscribe to our audio newsletter. It's free. ellismartinreport.com.